Do you feel like the rally is over when the ball is hit low and hard at your feet? If you do, today I've got one quick tip to help you gain more control and more confidence when the ball's coming at you hard and fast. Hey everybody, my name is CJ Johnson, and today I get to be with one of my Better Pickleball coaches, Jennifer. And at Better Pickleball, we help players over 50 and 60 live their best lives on and off the pickleball courts. Coach Jennifer is going to help me show you exactly what you need to do when that ball is coming low and hard at your feet. Here's what I see players do all the time. Jennifer, go ahead and hit a ball at my feet. I see players bend forward from the hips and then do a little wrist flick or a jab to try and get the ball back up and over the net. So the first step to defending that low, hard shot at your feet is to put your paddle and your body in a position to get underneath the ball and to lift the ball up. So let's focus first on the body. If you noticed in the very first motion, what I see most players do is most players tilt forward from the hips. They have pretty straight legs and they're bending forward like this. That doesn't really allow me or put me in a good position to be able to lift the ball. So the very first thing that I want to do is when that ball goes up, when I see that ball go high and I know that the players on the other side of the net are in a position to attack the shot, it goes high, I need to go low. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get some flex in my knees and move down towards the court. All right, now that your body is low, let's talk about the paddle position. Many players, especially those of you who come from tennis, play with what we call a hinged wrist. This is an unhinged wrist. This is a hinged wrist. If you want to defend a ball that's at your feet, it is much easier to do that with an unhinged wrist. If my wrist is hinged, it does a couple of things. So here's the hinge on the backside. Even though I bend my knees, so I've got a pretty sufficient bend in my knees, if my wrist is hinged, my paddle is still significantly higher than the court. So for me to get to a position where I can get the paddle underneath the ball to be able to lift the ball up from that low position, I'm going to have to bend my knees even further. Not always the easiest thing to do when you're in the over 50 set. What's far easier to do is simply to eliminate the wrist hinge. What you'll notice now is if I go back to that same amount of knee bend, but I've eliminated the wrist hinge, my paddle here is almost touching the court. So that allows me to put the paddle in a position where I can get it underneath the ball. The second thing that it does is it relaxes my arm. It doesn't matter if you have a pickleball paddle in your hand right now or not. Just stand up, let your paddle hand hang nice and loose in its natural position. This natural position here would be what my unhinged wrist looks like. Now what I want you to do, and again, it doesn't matter if you have a paddle or not, I want you to hinge the wrist. So if it's unhinged here, hinge the wrist here. I'm gonna guess that the minute you hinged the wrist, you could feel tension in your forearm. That tension is gonna limit the motion that you can make to get that ball back. It's also gonna transmit energy, more energy into the shot because you've got basically a death grip on the paddle. So by simply allowing the wrist to unhinge, you get lower and your grip gets softer. Here's a little bonus tip for you if you are defending that hard hit shot inside the transition zone, which is where I'm standing right now. If you'd like, you can put a second hand on that paddle. That second hand is going to add some stability to the shot. Now, it can limit how far down you go, right? The minute I put a second hand on the paddle, I have to bend my knees a little bit more, but the trade-off with the second hand is the stability. So do what's right for you. A lot of players tell us that they know what to do, but when they get to a game, everything falls apart. Now, if that sounds like you, then it's time for you to come to a better pickleball camp. We spend 2 days showing you the shots and the strategies that you need to perform the way that you know you can. If you want to see what a better pickleball camp is all about, click this link and we'll see you in camp. So let's take a look at what that's like when we're up here at the non-volley zone. It's the same mistake that happens in the transition zone. It just looks a little different. So when Jennifer hits a cross-court dink, we're in a cross-court dinking pattern, and she hits me out wide and she stresses me and I need to move to the shot. Players get very rushed, and it's common to see them do the exact same thing that was done in the transition zone. The wrist is hinged and they tend to flick the wrist at that shot. And what happens is either the ball goes into the net because of the paddle face angle, or if it does go over, it goes over hard and fast, and generally it's going to come back as a hard, fast put away, and I'm out of position. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Jennifer hit me a shot, and I'm going to show you how I apply the same solution. I just simply relax that wrist, and then I hit the shot over the net. We call it a 3-year-old dink. So go ahead, Jennifer, hit me a shot. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. If I dink down the line, I'm in danger of hitting the ball into an Ernie. So here's the thing. The Ernie, while it's a common move among younger players, you just don't see the Ernie as often amongst 50 and 60-year-old players. So my advice here is play the odds. The odds here, the best way to get out of jail here would just be to simply lift it over here and gamble that the player on the other side of the net doesn't have an Ernie in their arsenal. Okay, let me give you a little bonus tip. The 3-year-old dink is a fantastic shot, but if you just simply take that and extend the follow through, you can hit a lob over this player and buy yourself even more time. Go ahead, Jennifer, hit me the shot. A hard hit ball at your feet doesn't mean that you have to panic or that you've lost the rally. What you need to do is you need to position your body by flexing your knees, get your paddle into the right position, and that means unhinging your wrist so you get a nice relaxed hand. Now, I want to thank Jennifer for helping me out with this video, because you know what I say, together we can train smart, live bold, and age well.